Welcome, 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 everybody. Messed up on those transitions, but you know what? That's fine. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Luscious Balzac from FJRD, streaming Innersphere Coalition 6, Innersphere Coalition Season 6 here on MWO Leagues 3. Today, we have a Division E matchup between Dead Man's Hand and FJRD Blackout. Really excited to see how this match plays out. Yeah. Easy day. Let's see. Am I missing anything? I believe not. We still have about 1 minute before the match starts, so I'm going to take this time to say some thank yous. Thank you so much for coming out here, supporting MWO Comp, supporting the Innersphere Coalition, which is a tournament hosted by Aces Wild. And thank you for supporting both these teams as they duke it out. These teams, again, being Dead Man's Hand and FJRD Blackout. I also want to thank MWO Comp for allowing me to cast here on MWO Leagues. Yeah. Yep. For those of you not watching this live, I hope you enjoy this match on whatever service you're watching it. You know, if it's YouTube or, whatever. If it's the Twitch replay VODs, who knows? This is week 3 of Innersphere Coalition, Season 6. So, all teams should have a pretty good understanding of the rule set, of knowing, what to expect. Let's see. This is Division E, so it's not a Div A match, but certainly not the lowest division. So I expect this to showcase some good some decent strategies, and excellent playing. I would consider Division E to be slightly above your average MWO player. Looking out across these teams, I see a lot of tier 1 players. So, yeah, it makes sense. My question is, what will teams be bringing here on Drop 1? Today, from the previous matches, we've been seeing a lot of Osiris's, a lot of, seeing some Vulcans, Wolfhounds, I believe, some Fire Starters, Spiders, You know, we've seen a good mix. Just waiting on Budweiser and Squulf to ready up. But first, they're a little over tonnage, so they're going to need to swap some mechs. There we go. 275 tons. Praetorian Romulus wondering who's going to call times for locks. I feel bad. I didn't let them know. Both teams locked, ready to launch. Let's get to it. So yeah, Canyon Network, smaller map, great map. Wish I could enter the chat right now, but I can't. So looking over here at FJRD side, we got 2 Osiris 1Ps, a Blackjack Arrow, a Javelin 11F, and a Quick Draw IV4.
Reactor online.
Over here on Dead Man's Hand side, we got an Osiris 1P with heavy machine guns, SRM2s, small pulse, X small pulse, medium X pulse, SRM2s, HMGs, Javelin 11F with HMGs, medium X pulse, Charger 1A1 with large X pulse, small lasers. Oh, that's on. Okay, how do I get out of this view? Ruh-roh. Oh no.
New target.
Oh no.
acquired.
Target spotted. Target spotted.
Okay, I messed up.
Target spotted.
Sorry, guys. There we go. Looks like we got a big ol' brawl happening here over at Kappa. Bunch of UAVs went up. Looks like Tart's getting taken out very early. Charger 1A1 off the field. That's punishing. But look at all that machine gun fire. Budweiser goes down with his quick draw. Squulf goes down in his Osiris. Arkin and takes out Noblesse Blackjack. Oneji takes out Scroggle's quick draw. It is now a 4v3. Nope, make that a 3v3. Hunter of the Fjordland's favor. They just took out another mech. And they have healthier mechs overall. Now it's a 1v3. FJRD's favor. All that's left between FJRD and victory is a powered down quick draw. Quick draw is getting legged. Looks like Alpha Strike's getting those back shots. And Arcanent decides, you know what? I'm just going to try to take something out with me. I'm going to overheat and go down. And just like that, in under 3 minutes, the first drop is over. Looking at those damage numbers, we got a pretty even spread across the board. You know, pretty tight grouping across both teams, actually. Yumu with the Osiris dropping 450 damage. Man, it's just nasty how much work those little buggers can put in such a short amount of time. Alrighty, let's get that that map swapped for these guys. Giving Team 1 5 minutes on the clock. Yeah. Dead Man's Hand responding, Roger. They acknowledge the 5-minute timer that has been set. For those of you who may just now be joining in, this is Innersphere Coalition Season 6. This match that you're watching right now is a Division E matchup between Dead Man's Hand and FJRD Blackout. I want to take this time to thank you all for stopping by and you know, supporting these teams. It means a lot. Yeah, it means a lot. It means a lot. It really does. Yeah, Bearclaw 2. It's the newest map added to MWO. For those of you who are watching who don't know what MechWarrior Online is, it's a game about people piloting big stompy robots shooting at other big stompy robots. Yeah. Call them robots, call them mechs. They're technically mechs, but, you know, whatever. But Bearclaw 2 is a big map. It's a giant aircraft hangar that's situated within some icy caverns. So, yeah. It's a little difficult as a caster to get good aerial views because, you know, it's taking place in a cavern. But you know what? we're casters. We deal with it. We'll try to get you the best shots possible. Let's launch it. Getting into the match, FJRD Blackout won the first drop. Let's see if they can follow it up with another win. Yeah, like I said, aerial views, not really possible. So we make do. Over on Dead Man's Hand side, we have a Flea 17, two Thunderbolt 9SEs, a Thunderbolt 9S, a Charger N7, and a Charger 1A1. Over on Blackout side, we have a Stalker 5S, the CS variant, a Firestarter K, a Zeus Skokomish, Charger 1A1, Spider 5V, that's the Cap Spider, and a Crusader 6T. Looking at the teams as they approach the middle, looks like Dead Man's Hand sending their Flea out to take Theta, while Blackout sends their Spider and the Firestarter. So this Flea is now in a 2v1 situation. He needs to get out of there.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
Theta gets captured by Blackout. Meanwhile, Dead Man's Hand, the rest of Dead Man's Hand is pushing up on Theta, while FJRD takes up a position towards Kappa. Let's get a look at what these guys are doing. So they're scanning around. They're looking for the rest of FJRD, letting loose those large X pulses, unaware that, or maybe they are completely aware that FJRD is towards Kappa. Looks like Dead Man's Hand sent their Flea out towards Epsilon to capture it. Looks like they're going to do just a sliver cap. You know, just a little bit of a cap, just enough to start getting points so that they don't fall too far behind in the cap game. I wonder, does FJRD have line of sight on the cap point? That's difficult to tell. Looks like Praetorian Romulus checking around the corners here at Theta.
Kappa is under enemy control.
Getting slightly pinged by those large lasers. I guess those are ER large. Squolf trying to take back Theta, or at least uncap it. Hiding as much of his mech as possible. Oh man. My frames are dropping. No. There we go. That's a decent angle. Praetorian Romulus letting loose those large X pulses. Alpha Strike taking out cannon fodder. So Alpha Strike, I didn't even notice him come in through the backside. It is now a 5v6 in FJRD's favor. Alpha Strike out here skirmishing with Squolf in his Flea. Meanwhile, the rest of both of those teams are just exchanging little scratches of their paint jobs. Looks like Alpha Strike trying to make a retreat, noticing that he's all alone and that the rest of Squolf's teammates are really close by. Ugh. Frame drops.
Resource point Theta is ours.
Deadman's Hand finally flips Theta into their control. Meanwhile, FJRD sent a light out to capture Theta. So they maintain the 2-cap lead, allowing them to sit there and force Deadman's Hand to make the move. Looks like we got that Stalker exchanging fire with these large X-Pulse mechs.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
And it looks like FJRD just flipped a 3-cap, coming in with those back caps from Epsilon straight to Theta. Yumu in his Spider 5V getting some of Deadman's Hand to turn around and turn their back towards the rest of the FJRD team. Squolf gets legged. Ouch. Looks like Alpha Strike is also legged. It is now a 4v6 situation. However, one of Blackout's mechs is really close to dying. There he goes. He gets popped. Yumu in his Spider taking the fire from a couple of Deadman's Hands players. Noblest in his Charger taking out Jiroku's Thunderbolt. We got a nice little push here happening. Praetorian Romulus a little preoccupied with the Spider. Spider getting back shots on Budweiser. Archon Ent goes down to Noblest. Budweiser goes down to the Spider, and Praetorian Romulus gets knocked out by the Zeus Skokomish. Look at that beauty. SRM-6 Artemis Snubbies. Was there a disconnect? There was. Either that or he just got backshotted to death and didn't notice. I don't know. I was too focused on getting the right camera angles. I did not notice any disconnect. Looking at the damage numbers, pretty nice spread. Renaissance guy with his Stalker 5S dropping 590 damage. He was farming from range, doing everything that he could to weaken Deadman's Hand, while the lights went around, captured the points, and forced Deadman's Hand to push in. Gonna let these teams know, hey, I'm swapping your sides real fast. So please do not get out of your mechs and spoil the secrets. Alright, Team 1 is now on the clock. They got a 5-minute timer. Let's see how long it'll take for them to lock up. Score now 2-0 Blackout's favor. Let's go. Looks like Team 1 is opting for an Alpha Charlie split drop. Saying, you know what? We don't like that Bravo drop zone. Just waiting on Noblest and Tart to ready up on Team 1 side. And while these teams get readied up, I'm going to take the liberty to swap those scorecards for everybody, just to make it a little bit easier to track which team is on which side of the screen. Looks like we're green across Blackout side. Team 2 now has 5 minutes to lock because the lock has been called Team 1 side. Really great strategy by Blackout that last match, sending the lights out to get that early theta cap, and then having them disperse and grab the side caps. Fortunately, I did not see the Firestarter get the kill on, I think it was a Thunderbolt. But you know what? Maybe I caught it in the recording. Who knows? Looks like Team 2 is green. So we are green across the board, just waiting for that lock call. Let's get to it. Now we wait for both teams to load into the match. I'm just going to position myself over here towards Theta, since I know both teams are likely going to be sending lights that are going to contact each other at Theta. Looking at Blackout's team, we have another Zeus Skokomish, a Crusader 6T, Stalker 5S, Charger 1A1, Firestarter K, Spider 5V, looks like they're just bringing the same exact drop deck, saying, you know what, it worked well once, worked well the first time, let's bring it a second. Dead Man's Hand bringing 2 Crusader 6Ts, a Flea 17, Shadowhawk 2K, and 2 Stalker 5Ms. You know, I'm curious, what's on those 5Ms? Looks like Dead Man's Hand is sending their Flea out towards Kappa. SRM6s, ER Meads, and Binary Lasers. Wow, is that on both of them? Whew! They're ready for everything.
Resource point Theta is ours.
Looks like Blackout took the early cap on Theta. Yumu in his Spider jumping around. Probably, yeah, no, I think he actually scouted all of Dead Man's Hand. Because they're looking to just run away at this point. Dead Man's Hand saying, we brought Brawl, let's get it on. Once again, Renaissance guy with that Stalker getting those long-range trades out on Theta, trying to deny that cap point. But Squolf sitting in that same corner, hiding what I assume to be just out of line of sight. Blackout taking Kappa. Looks like they have a mech going towards Sigma, but good. They changed direction. Another mech from Blackout heading straight towards Epsilon. So they're going to look to get this 2-cap lead and once again force Dead Man's Hand to make a move, to make the first actual move.
We have gained Epsilon.
Looks like Squolf is gonna head over towards Epsilon with Budweiser and Jiroku. Actually, no, it looks like the majority of Dead Man's Hand is gonna rotate towards Epsilon and try to catch out the lights that are over here. Squolf and Budweiser chasing down Yumu in his Spiders. Yumu missing his jump to try and get away. Gets legged. That's not good. And goes down. Alpha Strike over here, now being chased down by Squolf in his Flea, trying to get away. Zigging and zagging, trying to dodge those PPC shots from Budweiser. If FJRD, if Blackout here loses both of their lights, that could spell danger. Yep. Alpha Strike gets legged and is about to go down. Just like that, the momentum shifts in Dead Man's Hand's favor. It is now a 4v6 situation. Dead Man's Hand, 6 remaining. Blackout, 4. Looks like Dead Man's Hand sending their Flea out to retake Epsilon. Or at least uncap it and flip it into their favor. Meanwhile, Blackout making a push, knowing that, hey, they're sending a mech towards Epsilon. We're now at the disadvantage. We don't have 2 caps anymore. And we don't have any light mechs that can go around capping. We need to make a move. We need to make it now. Noblesse charging in with his Charger 1A1. Leading the conga line of pure unadulterated brawl straight towards Dead Man's Hand. Praetorian Romulus gets legged, goes down. Looks like Noblesse taking some pretty good hate from Dead Man's Hand. Jiroku gets legged and is about to go down. Yep, there goes Jiroku. It's now a 4v4 situation. Noblesse goes down. Scratch that. It's 4v3. Sean Baum in his Zeus Kokomish gets legged and is about to go down. There he goes. Tart's all alone in the middle. Wow. Blackout's mechs melting left and right. All that's left is Renaissance Guy. He gets the kill on cannon fodder. Starts focusing the legs of Archon Ent, but gets legged himself and is being focused and prevented from moving backwards by Squolf in his fleet. Ultimately going down. GG, point, Dead Man's Hand. Looking at these damage numbers, Squolf 511 damage with that flea. That's a lot of damage to be pumping out with that small of a mech. Alpha Strike dropping the 2 lights for Blackout. Not putting in a whole lot of work, sadly. However, the damage spread across the 4 remaining mechs, pretty tight. Yeah, great job, both sides. All right, on to Terra Therma Crucible. Terra Therma Crucible is another one of those larger maps, but it's not exceedingly big like Alpine Peaks, Polar Highlands, or even Bear Claw. I don't think it's as big as those. Team 1 is currently on the clock. Alpha drop zone, the straightest path towards Theta from Team 1 side through the Alpha drop is kind of blocked by an illegal cap point, Gamma. So good on them for noticing that, swapping mechs to a different drop zone, saying, you know what, we're going to bypass that zone altogether. Not going to risk that illegal cap. Looks like Blackout is green. Nope. They got an unready. Let's see. 425 tons. Bravo Charlie Lance drops. Pretty standard. Looks like they're switching some mechs around, making sure that everybody's in the correct drop zone that they want them to be. Alrighty. Team 1, Blackout, has called for their lock. The onus is now on Team 2, Dead Man's Hand, to lock up. Yeah, to lock. To ready up and lock. Let's see. Looks like Dead Man's Hand is opting for an Alpha Bravo drop. Nope. Mex to Charlie? Alpha Charlie? Huh. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Now, my question is, are these teams going to be bringing range and trading from across Theta from their respective sides? Or are they just going to full send it, bring the brawl, duke it out on Theta? Whoever falls into the pit, falls into the pit. Looks like we're green across the board, just waiting on that locked call from Team 2. Do we consider Reddy's locks? I'll consider it as a lock. We're getting into the final two drops of this match between Dead Man's Hand and FJRD Blackout. Score is currently 2-1 in Blackout's favor. Over on Blackout side, we have two Orion M's, a Marauder AL, a Nightstar 10P, a Phoenix Hawk 7S, and Firestarter A. Over on Dead Man's Hand side, we have Charger 3K, Atlas RS. I'm gonna guess that that's the large X Pulse. Yep, Atlas D. Full. Oh yeah, nice brawly boy. Me personally, I'd be slapping some small lasers on it just to edge out as much DPS as I can. What's on this Bounty Hunter 2? Large pulse, ER Meads, and binary laser cannons on that Charger. Looks like both teams have their fastest mechs over towards Theta. Squolf in a Pirate's Bane. Oh, sorry, I did not finish reading through Dead Man's Hand's mechs. They have a Pirate's Bane, Marauder Bounty Hunter 2, and a Hunchback 4P. Looks like both teams are more than likely going to try to square up and brawl it out. Pirates Bane trying to sneak on through, get some info on Blackout, where they're positioned, what they're bringing. Looks like he's saying, you know what, the call's been made, go cap Epsilon. FJRD wants to sit here and hold Theta Kappa. Well, we can't let them have two caps uncontested. We're going to need some caps to keep up with them. They've taken Epsilon. Deadman's Hand doing a little bit of shuffling around, trying to get firing solution on FJRD. Looks like there's a strikeout towards Noblest in that Marauder. Looks like Yumu in that Firestarter sees the Pirate's Bane and is exchanging fire with him. Meanwhile, the Pirate's Bane trying to escape, trying to run back towards Theta, dropping a UAV on his way, trying to keep eyes on that Firestarter, make sure that he's, if he's still following him or not. Looks like Deadman's Hand is now pushing over into Theta. Praetorian Romulus getting absolutely blasted by multiple of Blackout's mechs. Onaj here in the Hunchback 4P, swinging wide, trying to get a nice angle on either the Night Star, the Marauder, or the Orion. Ends up getting blasted by the Night Star. Oof. Onaj gets legged by Yumu. Looks like Budweiser trying to poke out, get some damage out, but he gets blasted back. Alpha Strike in that Phoenix Hawk sitting at 75%. Yumu skirmishing with the Pirate's Bane down low. Looks like Yumu's trying to pull away from the Pirate's Bane. Ooh, and Yumu gets backshot by Onaj in his Hunchback. Tart in that Night Star, sitting at 53%. He's pretty beat up. How's he looking, though? A little bit of structure damage. I think he might have been cooking himself a little bit. Maybe he got backshot a little bit. Let's go to the other side of Theta because we got a nice little push happening right here. Jiroku, Budweiser, and Arconent making a push on Renaissance Guy. Arconent coming out with that full binary laser burn on Renaissance Guy. Noblest taking out Budweiser. Renaissance Guy pushing in towards the center, getting fired upon by multiple angles, ultimately going down. Alpha Strike taking out Squolf. It's a 4v4. I don't know. Deadman's Hand is looking quite fresh compared to FJRD Blackout. Tart taking just a pounding from two different angles. One from Arcanent, the other from Onaj. Ooh, and Tart goes down to a self-destruct, overheating himself, going down. Alpha Strike trying his hardest to take care of Arcanent, who's legged. But it is a 4v2 situation. Alpha Strike goes down. All that's left is Noblest in his Marauder AL. Looks like he's open pretty much everywhere and is going to go down right now. That's going to be a point for Deadman's Hand, meaning going into this final game, score will be tied 2-2. All of Deadman's Hand's mechs are legged, so it's going to be a pain, but we have to suffer through it as these mechs try to waddle their way to the objectives and cap them. Ooh, looks like the Marauder, the Bounty Hunter 2, is not legged, and instead making very good time towards Kappa. So I guess we don't have to wait as long. Let's see. will flipping it end the match or end the drop sooner rather than later? I think it should. There's enough time on the board.
Kappa is under enemy control.
Ooh. Noblesse saying, hey, Bounty Hunter 2 plus the Pirate's Bane. That's a double hero deck. I don't know. I'm not a ref. I'm just here to watch. To watch and keep track of the score. But I think Noblesse may be right. I think the Bounty Hunter 2 is considered a hero mech, and so is the Pirate's Bane. Anyways, looking at the damage numbers, Praetorian Romulus in that Atlas RS with 881 damage. That's a lot of farming with those large X pulses. But I'll let the teams log a ticket so that they can dispute that drop to their heart's content. It's not my issue. So we are going into drop 5. Telling the teams, just log a ticket, figure it all out through the official channels. I'm not a referee. I can't provide any rulings. But I have the APIs, and we have this recording, so it's all good. Everything will be settled at the end of the day. That, and also, it just looks better for the stream if it's, 2-2. Wink, wink. Man, that must be very disheartening for Dead Man's Hand if the match gets, or if the drop gets recorded as a loss for them, because they fought hard. They fought hard for that win. But good on Blackout for noticing and reading through the chat right now. I'm seeing that a couple of other people looking closely at the match noticed, yeah, that's a double hero drop. So, good eyes, everybody. letting Team 1 know, hey, you guys are still on the timer. Y'all got 2 minutes. I might be a minute late on that, but you know what? Who cares? I say that as a no, who cares, as in like, we're all here to either play or watch big stompy robots duke it out. So, yeah. Team 2 is on the clock, waiting on Noblesse to hit that ready button and call locked. Looks like we're green across the board. Just waiting on that locked call. There it is. Let's get into this final drop. And before I forget, let's swap the scoreboard. Aces Wild coming in with Osiris 1P, Nightstar 9P, Warhammer Black Widow, a Nightstar 10P, a Nightstar 9P, a second one, and a Vulcan 5S. Meanwhile, FJRD Blackout coming in with a Orion M, Osiris 1P, an Assassin 23, Nightstar 10P, Battlemaster 3M, and a Marauder AL. Looks like Deadman's Hand is sending their lights straight up to Theta, while Blackout sends a single light to Theta and the Assassin out towards Epsilon. Now, Yumu has to be cautious here. He probably doesn't know it, but this is a 2v1 situation for him right now. And if he steps on that point, he will get swarmed. But he doesn't have to fear for long because the rest of his team is showing up in force right behind him. Budweiser getting shots off on I believe Black Marauder or maybe Sean Bomb. Did not see exactly where it impacted. Yeah. Looks like Tart getting some shots off across the way. Getting some good damage on that Black Widow. Okay. Arm got a little banged up, but that's not an issue. Looks like both teams playing really passively right now. Deadman's Hand sending that Osiris of theirs down towards Kappa. Meanwhile, FJRD sitting behind cover, letting Deadman's Hand push up on them. out from their cover.
We have possession of Kappa.
Dead Man's Hand's Osiris, Squolf, now making his way back to rejoin his team so that when the fight starts, he will be a part of it. Looks like Praetorian Romulus making a charge into the center platform of Theta. Gets noticed, starts getting fired upon. Squolf coming in from the rear, trying to pull the attention away from Praetorian Romulus. There's a lot of firing happening. Let's try to get you a good angle. And Sean Bomb goes down to Arconent in his Night Star. Looks like there was an airstrike placed. Hits Tart very well. Jiroku and Squolf go down. Currently it's a 5v... Oh, never mind. It is a 5v2 in FJRD's favor. Never mind. Tart just self-destructed. Cannon Fodder destroyed Alpha Strike. It is a 2v3. Looking pretty bad for FJRD. They're pretty banged up. Meanwhile, the Vulcan and Night Star from Dead Man's Hand are really fresh. And wow, Noblest taking out Cannon Fodder's Night Star. Budweiser being triangulated and fired upon. Ooh, Black Marauder overheating, self-destructing. Noblest taking out Budweiser. Yumu simply has to capture Theta, maybe Kappa. Probably will also need to Kappa.
Theta is controlled by the enemy.
Nope. There we go. And that's another win for FJRD Blackout. Great drops, everybody. This was a lot of fun to watch. Looking at the damage numbers, you got Noblest dropping 533 damage. Cannon Fodder dropping 616. Sheesh. Wow. And with that, the final drop goes the way of the Blackout. Alrighty. Well, blah, 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 blah. That's the end of this match. You were watching the Division E matchup between Dead Man's Hand and FJRD Blackout here on MWO Leagues 3. This tournament was, or is, Innersphere Coalition Season 6. Yeah. That's it for me tonight. This will be my last cast for tonight. Feeling it. Feels good. I hope everybody had fun watching it. Anyways, thank you everybody for coming out, supporting these two teams, supporting MWO Comp, supporting Aces Wilds tournament. Yeah. I'm Luscious Balzac from FJRD. Letting you know, keep it luscious.